I, 40F, love my son Avram, 21, but I did not want to be a mom and was denied an abortion. I love him so much but I've never deserved him. I was a terrible mom. I know it was bad untreated depression but it doesn't excuse anything. His dad and stepmom took him when he was 10 and they love him so much and made him the most amazing young man in the world and I'm so grateful. After they took him I got therapy treatment and then spent time in inpatient for my drinking. Avram kept wanting to see me, his dad let me have weekends and I tried to make the best of it and be a good mom this time. He'd always tell me I didn't need to apologize cause I was sick and he loved living with me. Since he turned 18 he's spent more time with me and I know I don't deserve it and his stepmom does but I don't do anything cause it makes him happy. This past Friday his stepmom was hosting a work dinner and wanted all her kids there but Avram wanted to spend Friday with me cause we always do that. She's more his mom than me so I knew he should be there for her. But he wouldn't listen and insisted on being with me so I pretended I wasn't home that day and ghosted him so he'd go and I saw he did on his girlfriend's IG story. But you can see who sees stories and she did and messaged me I was selfish for ghosting and I really upset him. She essentially called me an asshole without saying it. He hasn't messaged me much since then either. I don't think I'm wrong. I'm trying to do what's best for him and that's showing gratitude to the woman who deserves his love. But I thought to try for judgment here. Comments where Op has replied, deleted, Uda. He is an adult and can make his own choices about how he spends his time and who he spends it with. You need to communicate. Ghosting was a dick move. Of Kite 510, Uda, your kid is 21 and is well past the age where he can make his own decisions about which of his parents he wants to spend time with. You explained to him that he should really be with stepmom and it would have been his decision to not do that and hang with you instead. If I were him I'd feel so hurt by this. Avoid my son Op, I had no intention of hurting him. Deleted, will you have so stopped trying to act like a victim and understand that your son wants to see you. My mother was similar to you, every time I wanted to spend time with her, she blew me off or told me to go see my dad since he's better and can love me more, I rarely talk to her now. So how about you stop feeling pity for yourself and go meet and spend time with your son. Razarkana Mia, Uda. This is gonna be harsh, don't read if you can't take it. He is 21, he deserves to choose how and with whom he is spending his time with. You denying your presence when he needs it is just you doing the same thing you did before. Your excuses of I don't deserve him, his stepmom should be his priority since she's like his real mom, etc. are just that, your excuses and your feelings, not his. Now is the time for you to make amend, don't let your guilt deprive him of you even further. Apologize and tell him you feel like you don't deserve him but you'll stop being a coward and will always be there for him from now on. Make amends the way he wants you to, not the way you think you should. That's the best way you can own up to your past and get forgiveness from both him and yourself. Avoid my son Op, I don't mean to let my guilt deprive him of anything and I don't mean to be a coward but I know that I am. He's the most amazing boy a mother could ask for but it's true that I don't deserve him that isn't an excuse because I did everything wrong by him. Broody Thicat, then how about you try to do better? You playing the victim and beating yourself up won't help anyone. You might benefit from therapy if you are committed to getting better and doing better, for yourself and for your son. Yummy Bread 69, you are so self-centered it's nauseating. All you can do is talk about yourself and how you feel. This pathetic self-pity party you're throwing for yourself is one of the most selfish things I've ever seen in this subreddit. As I can't truly say what I think of you without getting banned, Uda will have to do. OK_screen_8739, Uda, ghosting your kid isn't cool. At least give him the respect of being honest. Could you not have spoken to the stepmom about attending as well? Avoid my son Op, she would not want me there. Athnorian 1, Uda. You're very well intentioned, but he's an adult and you're essentially trying to make decisions for him. You think you know what's best for him. You can share what you think, how about you see your stepmom instead since this is special, we could see each other Saturday etc., but you have to respect his decisions. It might be time for another round of therapy. The way you talk about your son absolutely screams unresolved issues, and it sounds like you could use some help navigating your relationship with him now that he's an adult. Your heart seems like it's in the right place, I wish you luck. Avoid my son Op, I still go to therapy because my issues will never be resolved and I've asked him to go with me but because of his school schedule and other stuff he's never been able to. Update 1, after my post I realized how wrong I was and I called Avram, my son, and thankfully he picked up and came over. The first thing he did before I could even talk was give me such a big hug, it almost made me cry but I held back my tears. I talked to him about his stepmother's event and why I felt he should go and why I felt I didn't deserve him. I told him about the things that I did when he lived with me as a kid and why I felt I didn't deserve his forgiveness. I guess what really shocked me was that Avram pointed out to me that he didn't see his time with me as bad and that he mostly had happy memories and all the bad times were just because I was sick and that wasn't my fault. And it's not things I forgot, I guess just things that I never valued and I guess never really considered. Small things like how I'd take him shopping to Zellers on Sundays and always let him buy a toy. How I'd always get a special message printed on his birthday cakes. How I'd always let him sleep hugging me even though he was 10 by the time his dad took. How I'd miss work to stay with him if he got sick. The big thing he told me that made cry is when he was 9, kids bullied him when they found out we're ethnically Jewish and made him cry so bad he left school before the Easter egg celebration, so I organized an Easter egg hunt just for him in the park. It wasn't just that, he told me so much more that I did that he valued that if I wrote it here I think I'd break the word limit. It's so hard to hold on to the happy memories when I think about how terrible I was and how much I yelled at him or drank or smoked, but if he can do it then I can do it for him. And I've been trying. I've let him take full control of our relationship and I think it's been for the best. I've been seeing him much more often, and during Mother's Day, he and his girlfriend took me out to dinner and gave me so many boxes of chocolates. I've only been eating them when they come over so we can have them together. Even therapy has been going better since I did convince him to attend some sessions with me, and I think he's understanding what I went through when I got pregnant, but also how much respect I have for his stepmother. Plus, his girlfriend has started going to the gym with me. I love my son so much. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. He is everything that was ever good about me, and thankfully he got nothing that is bad with me. Maybe in another world where I didn't end up so damaged, I like to think I would have turned out just like him. He makes me so proud and so happy. I will try and never hurt him again and never be so selfish again. So thank you to everyone who convinced me to apologize, and to all the other mothers out there. Please hug your sons tonight if you can, no matter how old they are. Comments. Deleted. Awesome update. Great points to note. 1. You learned of your mistakes. 2. You learned you weren't as bad as you originally thought. 3. Your kid was always more mature than you noticed. 4. You sought help. 5. Clearly that help is working. 6. Awesome, your kid is going to some sessions as well. Glad for you and your son. Keep going in the right path. Avoid my son up. Thank you. I will always try to stay on the right path for him. Lilio Fiali, that's absolutely fantastic. Do it for him, and do it for you. There's a ton of people rooting for you and your second chance to love yourself. Less than 3 GGJMNHGG. God bless you. You're such an amazing person. You're doing right by him in so many different ways. You truly want the best for him. Not many people are like this. Just because you slipped and stumbled doesn't mean you're dirt. You're loved. 60 and Cheshi, I love updates like this, but someone's cutting onions at my desk and I'm going to catch some weird looks from coworkers soon. I'm so happy for you. Up. I know from experience that forgiving yourself is often way harder than forgiving everyone else, especially after struggles with addiction, but it is worth the fight to do so. I'm glad you're mending that relationship. Now I need a tissue. Avoid my son up. Thank you. I guess it is because I feel I don't deserve to be forgiven, but if my son can do it then so can I. I did beat my addiction for him, so I know I can do this. Paisley Penguin, forgiveness isn't about deserved. You don't earn forgiveness. You can't buy forgiveness. You can't work towards it. Forgiveness is given. Your son is giving you forgiveness. All you have to do is accept. Obviously if you continue to be an the other party is less likely to offer it, but in the end, much like stepmom's party, it is his choice to make to forgive you or not. And he has. Our cockroach 1662. NGL, I'm ugly crying at my work desk right now. Good on you for taking advice and talking it out with him. I'm so glad he showed you the mom he sees you as. Look at you from his eyes, mama. I'll give you a saying my father always told me: there is no such thing as a perfect parent. You did the best with the tools you have. And that sounds accurate in your situation as well. Remember, you did the best you could with the tools you had. And obviously you did a great job. Look at how deeply your son loves you. And wants to be around you. If you were half as bad as a mom as you think you were, he wouldn't want to be around you as much as he is. We are our own worst critics. Avoid my son up. You're right, since letting him take charge of things I think that I can sit in his shoes, kind of like how I'm going to therapy with me lets him sit in mine. A boy will always love his mom, but this past little bit has been surprising me by showing me just how much. I would do anything for my perfect boy. Update 2. I wish that I got to live my son's life. I don't know if this is the right place to post, but I've read a few posts and I think it is. I love my son with all my heart. He's a perfect boy and a wonderful young man. He's 23 now and he's graduated and already got a great job as an accountant, and he went for that career because it's mine. In September he's going to be married to his fiancée. This Mother's Day, they both honored me and it was such a wonderful night at my home, but ever since then I've had these thoughts in my mind that I can't get out. I'm 42 years old now and I feel like my entire life has just been wasted, but that my son is living the best possible version of it. When I got pregnant with my son, I was in a foreign country and I was swept up in some stupid religious craze with a bunch of other teenagers, and I was pretty much blocked from getting an abortion while I could. At that time, I did not want kids and thought I'd never want them. My life became hell after I had him. I was depressed, I drank, I smoked, I did drugs a few times, and I would spend hours on hours in the gym because I was stupid and thought that I could get my body back, and even in the bar because I wanted to be flirted with like before. I had to give up custody to his father and go get inpatient treatment for my drinking, and I've been 10 years sober now. Even though I did all of that horrible stupid stuff, my son still loves me so much that it doesn't make sense. When I ask him why, he brings up all these good things that I can only dimly even remember. And it makes me feel so fucking guilty, because if I could go back in time and get an abortion and never have him, I would do it in a heartbeat. He's the best thing that ever happened to me and I would do that. And since Mother's Day, I've been thinking. I never got to have the whole college experience like he did because I had him. I never got to fall in love with somebody who could sweep me off my feet and I could live out a fairy tale romance with because I had him. I never got to have the stable and steady career where I eventually run my own business because of my mental health issues. I never got to decide if I actually did want to have kids or if it was just some teenage fear because I already had one. But he has gotten to do all of that. He's had a great time in university and graduated with distinction. He's been such a good young man because he did sweep his fiancée off her feet and they've told me to expect to be a grandmother soon. I have no friends. I spend my time either at work or at home or at gym and he's my only real family left and the only one who loves me, so I shouldn't feel like this. It feels so good to hug him and he makes me feel so happy and proud, but the moment he's gone back to his father's I feel sick and I honestly regret having him because wish I could have gotten to live his life because I feel like it should have been my life. I've told my psychiatrist this during the last session that we had and we had a good talk, but I can't remember it now and I don't know why it gets so hard to remember things nowadays. Does any of this make sense? Am I wrong for feeling like this? Comments. This is Stocher. I'm sorry you feel the way that you do. I want to point out that you seem to be really dead set on living on the what ifs when there is absolutely no guarantee you would have had all, if any, of the things that you think you missed out on. The fact that you got caught up in a cult of sorts in the first place kind of tells me you wouldn't have achieved all those missed experiences to begin with. I think you are maybe using this as a crutch and an excuse to not having achieved any of your dreams. Many women still get swept off their feet and find love with children. Many still go to school and earn the degree they want and establish a business with children. It also sounds from your post like you gave up custody for a substantial amount of time in which you maybe could have achieved all of these things. Your mental health issues could have hit you at any point for any reason. I think you will find a lot more happiness in your life if you be real with yourself and actually live your life. You're only 42, that's still plenty young to accomplish those things. Trust me, I'm all for the pity party, I have plenty of those myself, but nothing is more helpful than taking accountability and making the necessary changes to find your happiness. I really hope you do find happiness, especially given that your son is such a wonderful young man that loves you so much and seems like he will be a great support to you in whatever you do. Avoid my son up. I wasn't in a cult. My family was religious and it was a bunch of us teenagers and it was easy for us to be manipulated by traditionalists. I don't know what we were thinking getting all swept up in all their promises about our futures. I still got to go to school and get my degree and a job and date and everything, but none of it was like how I dreamed it would have been because I had my son. And the time after I gave up custody of my son, I spent the first part in inpatient rehab for my alcoholism and the rest of it is so hard to remember. I can remember a lot of specific things but nothing general. I know that's weird, but I don't know why I couldn't do anything I dreamed about then. I just don't really remember that time that well. And I know you say 42 is young, but it's not. I am old now. I can't go in the gym like I used to anymore. Guys barely flirt with me anymore. I never get asked out and my career's progression has stalled. People 10 years younger than me are higher up than me now. I mean hell, if my son's going to have a baby after he gets married then I'll be a grandmother soon. What's more old than that? Oop on having a grandchild here. I can't take full credit for how my son turned out. I really didn't play much part in raising him after I gave up custody. I wasn't fit to do it anymore. Maybe if I had been, if I could really take credit for that then maybe I wouldn't be thinking these things. I'm so lucky he loves me and is so perfect. I will do my best to be the best grandma possible. As long as I'm not called grandma and not Zadie, I'll have nothing to complain about it. I'll spoil my grandchild like my grandma used to spoil me. Oop on all the people trying to cheer her up here. Thank you. I appreciate everyone here trying to cheer me up, but it's like they're not getting it. I love my son and I love that he's living such a good life. I would give anything to make sure it always is this good for him. But I hate that it wasn't like that for me. XMRSHMLLW. Man, this one gives me so many mixed feelings. I'm glad her son still loves her and is able to see past her behavior when she was sick, but I also feel so sad that she missed out on her life to have a child she didn't want. And she's clearly still suffering from that. Lost worked. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It seems that after 2 years since her original posts, she hasn't really gotten much better and in some ways, might have even gotten a little bit worse. Saffron honeysuckle. Oh, or, hopefully, she is in the early stages of having a clear mind and looking around before starting to rebuild. I wasn't so deep down, but I've been out of it and then woken up overwhelmed and devastated over lost time. Like even her mentioning working out is a perfect analogy. If you've never been in shape, it can feel impossible. Once you've successfully gotten there, even if you fall behind again, you know how getting there feels. I don't think she has ever known what it feels like to have her life in shape. Lost worked. It's this quote from her that resonates with me. Maybe in another world where I didn't end up so damaged, I like to think I would have turned out just like him. Because her son is clearly a wonderful person, a beautiful soul and all that she wants to be. It's like being proud of him has made her understand how unproud she is of herself and hopefully that clarity can push her in the right way. Dramatic humor 5363. Oof. Fuck. Hey, oop. If you ever see this? Bunch of strangers think you're great and your son is more like you, genuinely you, than you think. You deserve having adventures like he does. Boom shroom. God, that was a rough read. This woman clearly hates herself and her life, and the only bright light is her son, but who also represents one of the worst things that happened to her and partly caused the trauma that affects her. I hope she can work through this and learn to love herself at least a little bit. Lost worked. What I'm trying to figure out is, what foreign country was she taken to and was kept confined in when she got pregnant? She's clearly Jewish, but she doesn't really give any indication as to where this happened. Meg Bookworm, that's my guess too. Most Orthodox sects discourage or disallow abortion. It would have been very hard for her as a single mother as well. Not that single motherhood is easy regardless. BR4Z3NBoo77, Orthodox Jew here. There is a lot of debate within religious Jewish circles about abortion. I personally am pro-life, however. I attend the large mainline Orthodox synagogue in my city, and the head rabbi gave a sermon from the pulpit on the Saturday, our Sabbath, after the U.S. Supreme Court decision on RVW, discussing different rabbinic opinions on abortion, with the final opinion being that it is permissible according to Jewish. Again, this is mainstream Orthodox Judaism. I wear a black hat and am bearded and have 8 kids. Followed up with a statement about ethnically Jewish and doing Easter, I am led to the conclusion that while according to Jewish law, this woman and her son are recognized as part of being legally of the Jewish people, she isn't a practitioner of the Jewish religion. My guess, as others have stated, is that she was part of some fringe Christian group.